Derbyshire deny Glamorgan in thrilling finish. Derbyshire may have felt they were the favourites heading into day 3, that is before Marnus Labuschagne hit a magnificent 130 to put his side on level pegging with their hosts. Sean Massoud had fallen for a relatively low 42, narrowly missing out on the April runs record. Godalming 2 had gone, Derbyshire 170 for 2 at the start of the final day, 149 ahead. Madsen had picked up his 50 in the closing stages of the penultimate day, and at the start of day 4, it was Brooke Guest's turn, adding a half century to his 100 scored in the first innings. And it was the Derbyshire keeper who took his side to 200 runs. Salter punched down the ground for 4, Glamorgan yet to find a morning breakthrough. He's soon overtaken Madsen at the other end. Derbyshire were getting on with it, 150 shared between the two as the hosts looked to quickly set a target with a view to forcing a win. And Guest wasn't done. After taking 137 balls to bring up a 50, he needed just 61 more to reach a second consecutive 100, the attacking impetus paying dividends for the keeper and his side, who were now heading towards a 250-run lead. Derbyshire had another centurion before lunch, Madsen joining Guest on 3 figures, as Salter disappeared to the ropes on the offside. The 200-run third-wicket partnership carried Derbyshire all the way through to lunch on 287 for 2, leading now by 268. They were quickly up to 300 after the break, Guest refreshed and taking the long handle to Salter. Madsen 2 freed his arms, Lloyd smacked down the ground for 4 to bring up the 250-run partnership. It had been scored at a run a minute. Brooke Guest would finally depart for 138, the score 349 for 3, and Glamorgan set a highly unlikely 331 to win as Godalming waved them in. Glamorgan had managed just 3 wickets in total before Guest and Madsen shared a stand worth 266 to virtually dispatch any lingering worries of defeat. Harris, Salter and Van der Hoekten took the wickets, the latter at a cost of just 17 runs. But when Glamorgan came out to bat, Derbyshire hopes of victory were boosted. Andrew Salter out just 4 balls into the innings, spectacularly caught by deploy off Lackmal. Now if Derbyshire could just get run machine Labuschagne, they'd really be in with a chance, but the catch didn't stick. How costly a drop would it prove to be? Pretty pricey in fact. Labuschagne wasted little time to add 50 to his first innings 130, up to the mark from 49 balls. Lloyd tried to follow, his side were now flaying their way into contention, and he looked like he'd join his partner on 50. Just 1 away after back-to-back 4s off side bottom, but the bowler responded. Lloyd out LBW for 49, 232 more needed for the visitors, with 8 wickets in hand. Labuschagne took them to 3 figures before the break. They headed into tea, needing 230 in the final session. Labuschagne returned in the very same form, he and North East quickly reducing the required runs to below 200. He got as far as 85 off 87 and the score 160 when Labuschagne picked out Massoud off a bowling of side bottom. Glamorgan stayed with the required run rate and beyond 200 runs soon enough, with the Derbyshire declaration starting to look a little suspect. North East went to 50, an expensive Lackmal over taking him to the mark and reducing the required runs to 105 off a little more than 14 overs. Lackmal made it a bit more difficult for Glamorgan when Carlson was caught behind for 37, wafting at a wide one. Cook too was in the mood for it, batting quickly when he joined North East in the middle, but the approach would be his downfall, out hoisting a catch into the hands of Madsen to go for 32 off 26. A promotion up the order for Nisa, 6 runs from his bat from just his second ball, 40 runs needed off 34 balls, but out for 10, swiping a catch to McKeon off Dahl. Suddenly, Derbyshire too were hunting victory. Cullen, bowled by side bottom. Was that the game up for the visitors? If so, North East hadn't got the message. Dahl carted for 6 with 24 needed with less than 2 overs left, and he picked out deploy on the offside boundary. Suddenly the visitors were on the back foot and they put their shots away. The draw agreed upon with more wickets required than balls left in the day. It had been a thrilling finish to an even game. Glamorgan pushed all the way and Derbyshire had stuck to their task despite some defiant batting from their visitors. A mixture of relief and disappointment then for the hosts, who'll sit out next week, returning to action against Worcestershire on the 12th of May. Glamorgan meanwhile will be straight back to it on Thursday. Leicestershire, the visitors to Sophia Gardens.